Hello students, we will talk about degree of reaction and hydraulic efficiency of Francis turbine. What we'll do is we would like to express these two parameters in terms of inlet angles, that is in terms of the inlet guide blade angle and the inlet blade angle. Fine. That means alpha 1 and beta 1. So we would like to represent the hydraulic efficiency and the degree of reaction in terms of alpha 1 and beta 1. Now how we are doing that, let us see. Now as you can see here, this is the inlet velocity triangle, this is alpha 1, this is beta 1. Now here you should notice that the beta 1 which we have taken is that is obtuse. Generally in books we are taking this as beta 1, but here I have taken this as beta 1 obtuse angle. The reason is that in some online lectures as well as on Google also, on Wikipedia also, the same angle has been shown as blade angle. Fine, but we can take this also as our blade angle. Fine, but we would learn that later on. Let us first take blade angle as obtuse angle. Fine, and let us derive the hydraulic efficiency and the degree of reaction. So now what we'll do is, first of all let us understand this is the blade velocity, then here it is the relative velocity, this is the absolute velocity. Fine, then this is Vf1. Fine, this is Vu1, that is the whirl component. Okay, similarly exit velocity triangle. Now as it is a modern Francis turbine, we are taking alpha 2 as greater than alpha 2 as equal to 90 degree, and just because it is equal to 90 degree, what would happen is Vu2 will be 0. That's why V2 will be equal to Vf2. V2 will be equal to Vf2, that is visible here. Fine. So now another important design constraint in case of modern Francis turbine is this, that is Vf1 and Vf2 are same, that is the flow velocity at inlet equal to flow velocity at outlet. Now one of the advantages of this is that it will make the change in momentum in the radial direction 0, because Vf1 and Vf2 are what? Those are the velocity in radial direction. Fine, these are the flow velocity component, these are the velocities in radial direction. Fine, so they are same. If they are same, then the change of momentum in radial direction would be 0. The same is shown equal to axial velocity, because that is the velocity with which it comes out and it enters into the draft tube. Now as we all know that alpha 2 is greater than equal to 90 degree, and if alpha 2 is equal to 90 degree, we will be having only this term as far as the energy per unit mass is concerned. Now again I am reminding you, beta 1 is obtuse here, we are taking this as our blade angle. Fine, then just see, now we will first convert. Now what we'll have to do is we'll have to convert this Vu1 as well as this capital U1 in terms of Vf1. What we'll do is we'll turn these two things in terms of Vf1. Why? Because Vf1 and Vf2 are same, and Vf2 is equals to V2, that we know. So and V2 is something which is measurable directly. Fine, so that is what we'll be doing is, so let us see here, just see here, Vu1 is equals to Vf1 cot alpha 1. This is the angle, so this is Vu1 and this is Vf1. So this will be Vu1 upon, that is the base upon perpendicular equal to cot alpha 1. So Vu1 will be equal to Vf1 cot alpha 1. Now similarly we would like to find out U1. Now what is U1? Just see here, it is written U1 is equals to, just see here on the left side, U1 is equals to Vf1 cot alpha 1 minus Vf1 cot 180 minus beta 1. Now how you got that? Just see, if you just see this, U1 is nothing but equal to this Vu1 minus this length. Fine, so that is what is written. Vu1 is nothing but Vf1 cot alpha 1 minus this length, means what? Minus Vf1 cot 180 minus beta, because this angle is how much? 180 minus beta. So this is reduced, so that is what you are getting. So now cot of 180 minus beta is minus cot beta, so it would become plus. So that's why you are getting U1 is equals to Vf1 into cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. Fine, so you will be putting this value here in this equation, and when you will put this value here in this equation, what you will get is this, that is Vf1 square into cot alpha 1 into cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. Fine. So this we have to keep in mind, Vf1 square into cot alpha 1 into cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. So in this way we have represented the energy supplied by the water to the runner in terms of flow velocity, guide blade angle, and the runner blade angle. Fine. Vf1 square is nothing but equal to Vf2 square. It is nothing but equal to V2 square. Fine. So next is, now we'll find efficiency. Now what is the formula for efficiency? Efficiency is the energy conversion that has happened. The water power has been converted into runner power divided by the input energy. Now what is the input energy in case of Francis turbine? In case of Pelton wheel, it was V1 square by 2g. The whole pressure energy was converted into kinetic energy in the nozzle, but it is V1 square by 2 plus P1 by rho plus GZ1. It has got all the three kinds of energies, that is potential energy, pressure energy, and kinetic energy, because it is a Francis turbine. Here the jet is not coming freely, it is not coming out in atmosphere, the whole system is airtight. Fine. So the same thing can be written like this, E by m dot divided by E by m dot plus V2 square by 2. Now what is this? E by m dot is nothing but the energy conversion that took place. Now the same thing is written here, energy conversion. Now what is V2 square by 2? V2 square by 2 is nothing but the exit energy, the energy which is exiting out of turbine. So if you add these two terms, that is nothing but the energy input. That is nothing but what? Energy input, because here we are assuming that there are no frictional losses. So this is, the denominator is nothing but energy input. Fine. So now what we'll do is we will put the values of E by m which we just got in terms of alpha 1 and beta 1. Just see, F1 square into cot alpha 1 upon into cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. Then this E by m is again here, so that has been written here again. And then this is V2 square by 2, so V2 square by 2 can be written as Vf1 square by 2. Why? Because V2 and Vf2 are same and Vf2 and Vf1 are same. Fine. Here we are neglecting friction. Fine, that we have to keep in mind. Friction is neglected in guide blades and runner blades. So now when you simplify this, you are getting this formula, this equation, which is very important. 1 minus 1 upon this whole thing, 1 plus 2 cot alpha 1 into bracket cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. Fine. But here just you have to keep in mind that beta 1 is taken as obtuse angle. Fine. Beta 1 is taken as obtuse angle. Then we will find the same thing. Now the same thing we will find with the help of, we'll take beta 1 as acute angle. Fine, because many people are comfortable with acute angle. So this is beta 1 is acute angle. With beta 1 acute angle, what you will get, just see, VU1 is VF1 cot alpha 1, exactly same. Beta 1 is acute, VF1 equal to VF2. Now what is U1? U1 is VU1 minus VF1 cot beta 1. So U1 is VF1 into cot alpha 1 minus cot beta 1. So what you will get, E by m will be Vf1 square into cot alpha 1 into cot alpha 1 minus cot beta 1. So what difference we have got? Instead of plus, now it is minus. Fine. In that it was plus, now it is minus here. So if you are taking beta 1 as acute angle, which we are mostly comfortable with, so the equation which we'll be getting is in terms of minus sign. Fine. In Wikipedia, in NPTEL lectures, they have taken beta as obtuse angle. There is no hard and fast rule, but you should stick to any particular way. If you are taking beta 1 as acute, so you should take it as acute throughout. Fine. If you are taking it obtuse, so you should take it obtuse throughout. Fine. While solving numericals and derivations everywhere. Fine. So you have to stick to it. Fine. So in this way we will do it again, the same thing which we have done for the obtuse angle, E by m upon E by m plus V2 square by 2. So what you will get is this, and when you will solve it, you will be getting exactly same relationship, this 1 minus the same thing. The only difference is that instead of plus, now it is minus. Fine. So with the help of acute angle, you are getting this relationship. Fine. Now the next thing is degree of reaction. Now what is degree of reaction? Degree of reaction is a parameter which tells us that out of the total force generated, find the out of the total force supplied to the turbine, how much is the contribution of the reaction force. Fine. So that is being shown by the degree of reaction. So as you can see here, change in the energy due to static head in the rotor divided by change in total energy. So the same thing is written like this. It is the total energy change that has taken place. In that total energy change, we are deducting the impulse effect. So if you will deduct the impulse effect, what you will get? You will get automatically the reaction effect. So that is what is done. Now if you will simplify it, you will be getting 1 minus V1 square minus V2 square by 2 into E by M. Now we know the value of E by M. What is E by M? E by M is, just now we had done that, Vf1 square into cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. When you will be cot alpha 1, fine. When you will be getting cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1 plus sign when you are taking beta 1 as obtuse. Fine. So here beta 1 is obtuse. So when you will solve it, when you will simplify it, what you will get is this formula for degree of reaction. Fine. You have to put the values. Fine. And when you will solve it, you will be getting this formula, 1 minus cot alpha 1 upon 2 into cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. As you can see here, plus sign. This plus sign is for obtuse beta, obtuse blade angle. But if you are taking acute blade angle, means what? If you are taking this as your blade angle, then you will be getting minus sign. Instead of plus, you will be getting minus. Fine. So now we are just summarizing that if beta 1 is greater than 90 degree, if you are taking that, fine, beta 1 is obtuse, then E by M will be Vf1 square cot alpha 1 into cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. Eta will be 1 minus 1 upon 1 plus 2 cot alpha 1 into cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. And degree of reaction would be 1 minus cot alpha 1 upon 2 into cot alpha 1 plus cot beta 1. So here again Vf1 and Vf2 are same. This is the major design constraint, right? So this is for beta 1 greater than 90 degree. So you can use this way, this formulas also, but then you'll have to take beta 1 as, fine, as greater than 90 degree. And if beta 1 is less than 90 degree, means what? If you are taking this angle, see, the design is same. In both the cases, design is same. It depends upon us which beta we take for calculation. Fine. So E by M will be cot alpha 1 minus cot beta 1. Eta 1 will be like this. Again, instead of plus, we'll be getting minus. In degree of reaction also, instead of plus, we'll be getting minus. So you can take any beta, whether you can take obtuse or you can take acute. For example, if you are having, suppose if you are having here 20 degree or let's say 30 degree, or here you are having 30 degree. So if it is 30 degree here it would be how much? Here it would be 150 degree. Fine. So you have to put the value of respective angles and respective formulas. If you are taking acute angle, then you have to use these formulas. And if you are taking obtuse angle, then instead of minus you have to use plus. Fine. Result will be same. You will be getting same value of energy, you will be getting same value of efficiency, you will be getting same value of degree of reaction. Fine. So this was all about the degree of reaction for Francis turbine and the hydraulic efficiencies in terms of guide blade angle, inlet guide blade angle and the runner blade angle. Fine. Thank you.